Okay, this week we're going to be creating 3D physical models. We're going to be using Revit concept massing to create a form which will translate that into an STL file for us to enable us to make a 3D model. So first of all, we're going to start off by making this form here, or a similar form to this. So if we open up Revit and download the template, massing template from Moodle, and within that, on the ground floor plan, everything's in meters, so when we translate it into an STL file, the maximum form we can have is 50 mil by 50 mil by 50 mil. So we're going in the template. These are the boundaries of where we can make model, and in elevation, I've put on all the height. So the maximum height is 50 meters, which equates to 50 mil in height. So first of all, if you open up the ground floor plan and click on massing and site, first of all make sure show mass is ticked on, so the light bulb's on, and then we click in place mass, click OK, and from the previous semester you should remember that concept massing works by translating 2D forms into 3D. So first of all, click on model, select rectangle and just do a rough rectangle, and then select a line. So if you use a tab key, you can select that line, and we're just going to make it 30. Press the tab key just to select the line and then change that to 30, and just roughly position it within the center of our boundary. And then if we go to the 3D view, you can see it's just a 2D form. To translate it into a 3D form, make sure if you hover around it, it should all be one continuous shape. If you select it, select create form and change the height from 10 to 50. And if you go to the elevations, you can see that it's gone all the way up to the maximum height. And if you hover around the top and you want to select the whole surface, so if you select if you hover around it or press the tab key, you just want to make sure the whole surface is selected, and you've got the X, Y, Z, so you can tilt it left and right or move it up and down, but we're at our maximum height, so we'll keep that as it is. But what we're going to do is rotate it. So if we select that surface, if we type in R over rotate and then rotate it 60 degrees, you see it's just twisted. So if we go to the elevation, you can see it still remains within our boundary of height, and if we go to ground floor, even though it's twisted, it's still within the boundary. So if we might just want to make it a little bit different by, if we select the edge, you can pull it down, or if you hover around, you can select a point, it selects all 3 points and move it down, moves them all down. Or if you want to move it inwards, these little toggles enables us to move them inwards, left and right, up and down. So I'm just going to make the top surface slightly smaller than the bottoms. So once you're happy, click finish form, and now what we want to do is apply surfaces. So we click on massing and site, and then we click wall. The only wall which is within the template is wall 5 meters. So again, when you translate it, when we translate it into the STL file, 5 meters equates to 5 millimeters when we're 3D printing. So if you hover around the form and then you select a surface, it will create a wall where that surface is. And if we switch it off, there's our 3D form. And the other form, so if you click File, Save As, so we save that, so we just call that Mass 1, Mass 01, and we will show you how to create an STL file in a following tutorial. Okay, so I'm just going to if I'm going to untick Show and select that and delete it. The next form I'm going to show you how to do is something similar to this. So again, if we go to ground floor plan, we click show mass, in place mass, click OK, and what we're going to do is create 2 circles roughly make sure it's within parameters of our boundary. If we both make them 10, the diameter 10 and that one 10, make sure that they overlap. Now what we're going to do is make that one form. So what we'll do is use the split line tool. So if we type in SL, so we split both segments, and then if we hover around it and then press the tab key to take out that segment, to select it first, and then press delete, and again on the other circle select that segment by using the tab key and then press delete again. Now we want to join those two lines, so if we use the trim tool, which is up there, or press TR, you select that line and select the inside face, making sure that you select the arrow is facing on the outside edge. Otherwise, if you do it internally, it'll just trim those two tools. So TR again, making sure the arrow is on the outside, and we should just, if we go to 3D, you should just have a 2D form. And again, if we select, make sure you select the whole of that shape, select create form, and change the height to 5 rather than 10. So if we go to the one of the elevations, you can see it only goes up to 1 story. So what we're going to do now is, if we select all of them, select the whole form, so you go from keeping your finger on the top left and then drag all the top to the bottom right, and then we go to the elevation, and then we go copy, so we use the copy tool or CO, select the ground floor and move it all the way up to the first floor, and we go, and then we have a second floor, but what we want to do is slowly rotate it. So if we go this time, go navigate, so you're you're facing the shape face on, and then if you go from top right to bottom left, it only selects that top segment, and then we use the rotate tool, so we just go RO, rotate it 25 degrees, and the top one should just rotate. So again, if we just select that top form, go to the elevation, use the copy tool, so this time from first to second, go back up to the 3D view. So what I tend to do in Revit is find the best view to make changes. And again, if I just select that top form, type in RO, rotate that again 25. So slowly we're starting to get that form, that shape. So again, I rotate it so I'm facing it head on, select that top one, go to elevation, and then click copy, so second to third this time, go back to 3D, select, rotate, select that top one, rotate 25 degrees. So slowly you can start building that form. Once you're happy with, you can go all the way up to the 10th floor. But once you just for this demonstration, I'm going to stop it there, click finish, and again if we go to massing and site, this time we click walls, and then we can just hover around and create semicircles by just selecting those forms. So we should start to create a form similar to this, but just at a smaller scale. So again, if you just switch off the go massing aside, switch off the mass to show you what form has been generated. So that concludes this short video on massing.